Okay, we are now joined by Suzie Montero. She has an up-and-coming fight at XFC 22. First of all, Suzie, I want to say a big thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. So, firstly, yeah, how excited are you about the opportunity to fight for XFC and obviously your fight being so highly ranked up the card as well?
Well, I'm actually very excited and honored to have this opportunity to fight on the XFC show. Considering the fact that they are going to have a lot of tryouts within the next few months. So this opportunity is great, and including the fact that it's a nationwide viewing live stream. So that's definitely a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the more exposure you can get, it's always better. And there's obviously been quite a lot of hype recently, like you've just said about the tryouts. They're obviously, XFC are really looking to expand the women's division. How big do you think it could be? Obviously, one for you, two for XFC, and three for women's mixed martial arts.
Well, I think it's going to be a great thing for women's mixed martial arts because, considering the fact that XFC already had a division and, with women in there, so they already were helping women's MMA get out there and, broadcasting them. So now that they're going to have more divisions and more women, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be great for me, too, because I'm going to get, that nationwide exposure. It's a wonderful thing. I'm really happy that XFC was already, supporting women's MMA, per se.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I mean, women's MMA is just growing so fast at the moment. I mean, I noticed that your last fight was at Invicta, and obviously they're doing
Yeah,
a lot for women's MMA as well. It's just great to see women's MMA finally getting the exposure that it deserves.
yeah, it was, I got to tell you, it was definitely a different experience for myself because, within the years that I've been doing this, it's been always very hard to get the female fighters or to get them on the cards. And, Invicta brought so many women, and it was wonderful because they showed, not that I definitely don't want to bring up the UFC because I'm more excited about the XFC. Like I said, they already had women, they had already given women opportunity on their show. But, considering that Dana White said there wasn't enough females out there to actually have a division on the UFC was not true. Invicta proves him wrong. There's plenty of women out there all over the world that want, a chance to get in the ring and or the cage and broadcast themselves in what they do, women's MMA.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we're seeing that, like I say, over the last, more so probably over the last couple of years, because there's been so many great women's fights in all of the promotions. I mean, Bellator's had some great female fights, and obviously XFC. You talked about UFC, obviously that's coming up, and Invicta. I mean, what they're doing is fantastic. How long have you, just to get a little bit of your backstory, how long have you been training in mixed martial arts?
Really, in mixed martial arts, I would say maybe for the last 3 years or so, maybe a little bit less. I've done martial arts for about almost 12 years now, but it's mainly, I guess, predominantly you can say striking. And then I was always around ACT, and there's always jiu-jitsu and wrestling going on, and somehow or another, I would pick it up by just watching, and when I actually finally did it, I guess I had more of an idea of how to do it.
You said about, obviously, you predominantly come from a striking background. What striking was it? Was it boxing, kickboxing, karate?
I would say Muay Thai.
Oh, okay. And where did you train that at ATT, or did you train that somewhere else?
I first started out doing Kung Fu. I did some forms and some light sparring, I believe, tournament. And that I didn't really like that too much because, it's light contact. So I then went on to doing like 2 or 3 tournaments for Sen Shao, and then after that I felt like I needed a little bit more of a little bit more of an understanding for striking, and I searched for some Muay Thai. I started with Christian Select for like a few months or so, and then after that I've been training with my husband for the last, we're going to be together almost 11 years now, so he's really been the one that has helped me with my striking. And his name is Luis Rosario. He's a professional fighter as well.
Cool. Do you still currently train with America's top team now?
Right now, it's not that I'm not training with America's Top Team or I'm with any particular team, considering our situation, we had to move and stuff, and he stopped teaching, and he used to train or teach rather in a lot of American Top Teams. So right now he's not teaching in any ATTs, so I don't really claim any school in particular, but the gym that I'm training at that supports me very much so and helps us out a lot, and that's mainly where he teaches, and that's called Rush Squad. Right now we have we have a nice little facility going on and a nice little curriculum for MMA. I'm pretty much doing everything I teach here.
Sorry, what's the name of your gym again, so we can shout your gym out?
It's called Rush Squad. It's in Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, brilliant. And I just want to ask you as well, because I think it's always interesting when you speak to somebody who comes from a striking background, and then obviously they look at doing the grappling, because it's so different. How difficult was it for you transitioning from striking into grappling?
I wouldn't say it was difficult at all, because I was very open-minded and I was very hungry to learn. And like I said, I was around it so much that, it just kind of became a little bit easier to pick up. The thing is, it's a bit different. Like, I can do maybe 5, 10, who knows how many rounds of striking, and yet when now obviously I've been doing it for a while, so it's different. But when I first started jiu-jitsu, oh my gosh, and I would do like a round, I thought I was gonna die, but I loved it. I thought it was so much fun and so interesting. It's like a little puzzle, a mind game, a chess game. I don't know. I didn't think I would really enjoy or love it that much, but I really do. I really do.
So you just obviously fell in love with the grappling.
Yes, I really did. I I like wrestling as well, but I guess you can say that I prefer the striking and the jiu-jitsu. I enjoy it a lot.
When I was looking over your record, so I could see, get a little bit of your backstory. One of the things that jumped out to me was that your first professional fight was against Kim Couture, and obviously Kim's quite well known because of who her husband is. And so I just thought, what was it like facing Kim Couture, and did you know much of a backstory going into fighter?
It was a little It was funny because I had started doing grappling, and a few promoters came up to me and were like, "Oh, would you fight in our show for MMA, this and that?" And I was like, "Listen, I just started. Give me a chance." And they asked me to fight this one lady. I can't remember her name, but I think it was for Bellator. And I said no, because I didn't think it would benefit me in any kind of way. And I wasn't ready to do MMA. And so maybe a few months passed, and I started training under Edson Dennis. He's pretty well known, I guess, in the grappling world. And but it was a very consecutive training, and he would always give me, attention to whatever I needed, any question I had, give me time. And so I was really picking up on the jiu-jitsu. And then Roger Craw from American Top Team Sunrise, he went up to my husband actually and said, "Listen, I wanted to know if Suzie would be interested in fighting in this show. It's W1 against Kim Couture, her record is so and so." And so he brought it up to me, and I was actually shocked. I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. Who is she?" I was like, "That's Randy Couture's ex-wife, and she's pretty well known in women's MMA, and that would be awesome." And he goes, "Would you like to do it?" And I said, I asked him when it would be, and if it would be enough time for me to train. And after we weighed everything out, it was a win-win situation, no matter what, no matter how it went. I was just a little weary because she had a lot more experience than myself in MMA. I've only had a few fights into my amateur, like 2 or 3, and then I had 2 pro, I believe, 3. I don't even know. I never keep up to that. I know that sounds horrible, but I really don't. It's been a few years. And that was the only reason that I was a little like, but I felt confident in my team and myself, and I took the fight.
You said about it being a win-win situation, which I understand what you're saying, because obviously it's such a high-profile name. With it being such a high-profile name, did you feel any extra pressure, or did you just think it was the bonus that you were fighting such a high-profile name, so you have nothing to lose?
I'm sure that no matter what you do when you go in there, whether you have already faith in yourself that you're going to win or not, there's pressure no matter what. You know what I mean? There's always pressure. But, like I said, I just felt like it was a win-win situation. If it went my way, perfect. You know, I got my name on the map, and if I did it, I still got exposure because I went against Kim Couture. You know, no fights here, and she had already 8. I just, like I said, I didn't feel like, but I also felt very confident that I can beat her. So I took the fight. I usually didn't have anyone to take care of my fighting career, and I'm just a fighter, and I just want to fight and pretty much kind of say yes to the fight. You know, especially back in the days because it was so hard to find opponents. So, you kind of had to just take the fight and be ready whenever. But, now I have a better management team, and, I believe that he looks out for me, and, he looks at my opponents, and he says, okay, this is a good fight or not a good fight. Either way, I had checked out my opponent for this XFC fight, Pearl Gonzalez, and I thought it would be a really exciting fight for both of us.
Yeah, I was just going to move forward to that. So moving forward, obviously, to your opponent now, what do you feel are your strengths against your opponent, which is obviously Pearl Gonzalez?
My strengths against her?
Yeah, what do you feel you're going to be better at than her, or which you can use to exploit your game over her?
Well, I mean, I think she's a all-around great fighter, but I believe that my striking would probably be a little bit, cleaner and sharper. And I hope to be, a lot more prepared and stronger than I was for my last fight. That's what I think. I think, I see that she's very aggressive, and I believe I am as well. That's why I said I think it's going to be a very good fight for both of us.
In a perfect world, if you obviously visualize what's going to happen, how would you see this fight playing out in a perfect world, obviously for yourself?
In a perfect world? I'm sorry. I thought that question was pretty interesting, and I really don't like predetermining anything or talking trash or any of that.
No, that's fair enough.
I just like to get in the ring and do my work, and it'll play out how it's supposed to play out. That's how I feel.
That's fair enough. And are you excited at the opportunity to face Pearl Gonzalez? You think it's going to be a great fight for obviously for the fans to watch?
Oh, I think it's going to be a great fight for the fans to watch. I think our fight might be more exciting than some of the men's fights. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I hope that a lot of fans tune in and watch, me and Pro give on a good show and help the women's MMA grow, bigger and faster. I think this is a great opportunity for both of us on the XFC show because it's going to be, like, I keep mentioning it's going to be nationwide viewing. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very exciting.
I agree. It is. I think it is. I think it is going to be exciting. I think you're right. It is a great opportunity to if any time you can kind of fight and get national exposure. That's not something you turn your nose at. It's brilliant. So before we let you go, first of all, I want to say a big thank you. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been lovely speaking with you today.
Oh my gosh, I really, really appreciate you even considering having me and taking the time to ask questions and help my name get out there. Having me on the show, and you're so polite. I really appreciate that.
That's my pleasure. So before we do let you go, just like to give you a chance to shout out. You want to shout out any friends, family, obviously the people that help you get where you are, and if you've got any sponsors as well, I'll give you a chance to shout out any sponsors.
Oh, for sure. First and foremost, I always thank God, because without Him, I am nothing, and with Him, I am everything. No matter what happens. I want to thank my husband, Luis Nazario. He's always behind me. He's such a great support system for me. He does everything and beyond to help me and to help me succeed in my dream. He's even postponed himself. I have to thank Rush Squad for, taking us under their wing and helping us out. Any Fashion for supporting me and sponsoring me in anything I need. I want to thank RSM, the management team, which my manager's name is Jason Ellis. I have to thank Brawlin' Ma. I love you, Brawlin' Ma. I want to thank Slep Kimonos and all the fans and friends and family that have supported me, especially my kids. I've had to sacrifice a lot and they've seen my struggle, and you know, they still love me no matter what. So, and again, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. We wish you all the luck. We're really looking forward to your fight in I think it's about 3 weeks away now, but I really hope it goes your way. So thank you again for coming on, and good luck for your fight in 3 weeks.
Thank you so much, and I love your accent. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
No problem. Thank you very
so
much.
Awesome.
Thank
you have a great night, sir.
Thank
All
you,
right, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.